At least three major studies in the world show that money had a little impact on happiness, especially when people's basic needs are met. For example, a study on societies has shown that individuals and societies whose income levels have increased have not necessarily increased their level of happiness. In the United States, 632 people were asked to report their income levels and estimate how much money they spent each month. People's expenses were divided into two categories. First, the routine expenses of life and buying something for themselves, and the second, giving gifts to others and donating to charity. The first category, or personal expenses, were about $1,100, and the second category, or social costs, were estimated at around $145. After registering the expenses, the level of happiness of people was evaluated. The results of the study showed that there is a significant linear relationship between social costs and higher levels of happiness among people, and this happiness has nothing to do with the amount of social costs. Does financial windfall bring happiness? In an interesting study, the annual income and happiness level of 16 employees were estimated. Then $5,000 were given to employees as corporation profit. After 2 months, people were asked to say how they spent the given money. They divided expenses into two general categories: expenses for themselves and expenses for others. The evaluations showed that people who spent the windfall profit on others had a higher level of happiness than people who spent the money on themselves. In another interesting study, the happiness level of 46 people was met in the morning. They were given $5 and $20 packets completely by chance. People were divided into two groups. The first group was told to spend their money on themselves at 5 p.m. and the second group was told to spend their money on others at 5 p.m. After 5 o'clock, their level of happiness was checked. The results showed that people who spent their money on buying gifts for others had a high level of happiness, and more interestingly, there was no difference between buying a $5 gift and a $20 gift, and both made people happy to the same extent. Despite the fact that most people think that spending money for themselves brings more happiness, the results of studies show that spending for others leads to a greater amount of happiness. Of course, if the basic needs of people have been met. Also, the researchers believe that trying to earn more than the need does not affect happiness and mostly leads to the purchase of expensive things. And on the other hand, trying to get more money than needed can diminish social behaviors that are related to happiness, such as socializing and helping others, and have the opposite effect on people's happiness levels. Thanks for watching. Please tap the like button to support me, and also don't forget to subscribe me for more medical and health contents.